Hi, I'm Tony Fleming, and this is Fleming's Ultimate Garage.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us on today's video. One of my favorite pieces of iron in the entire world is a Maserati, the Cambio Corsas, the Spiders. A coupe like this right here is a whole nother car. You know, this is the last run of these cars, 05, some of the 06s, and you know, they only build 100 of these a year. And when you walk around this car, it's like got great style in it, and it's got great pieces and bits. And when I say bits, I mean from the big brakes that are on the car, to the side sills, to the spoilers, to we're not even into interior yet, and when we pop the hood, you're gonna go, wow, that is spectacular. And the great thing about it is, you know, these cars came with a 4-year, almost 50,000 mile warranty. So Maserati was very convinced that they were selling a great car that would be reliable. And it's turned out it's been exactly that. You know, a lot of these cars have Ferrari components in them because they were owned by Ferrari for quite some time and then sold. But, you know, it's as we walk around the car, the drivetrains, you're talking about 400 horsepower. You're talking about that F1 paddle shift gearbox, which is really nice. And on these special cars here, these special coupes, believed to be only 100 of them built, the interior is very different. The consoles are different, the carbon fiber, the cloth, all that stuff. So as we walk around this car, we'll take a peek at some of the stuff, and I tell you, the Italians just do a great job with style. So let's talk about paint for a second. Come on up. And it's hard with all the light and everything to see everything super clear, but you can see how nice that paint is on the car. And it is a Grigio touring metallic paint, which I've probably butchered the entire Italian language, and I'm probably gonna get chastised by everyone in Italy and the Italians here, so all I would say is, sorry. Anyway, let's check out some other stuff. Okay, look at the size of these rims here. Beautiful wheels. Big giant red calipers with the Maserati label on them. Cross-drilled and slotted and vented rotors, all right? And that's 4-wheel big disc brakes all the way around. Independent rear suspension, and the transmission's in the back, so you could get, you know, 1,000 pounds of all the accoutrements back there and get it off the front end of the car. So that's a great technological feature that makes these cars handle really well, ride really well, and really scoot down the road. All right. So let's keep walking around the car for a minute. So the Gransports get the side sills, they get the special wheels. They get the red calipers, standard. Come on back here. They get a different exhaust system. They get the polished exhaust here, and they also get the different rear apron, which is nice. Just wash the car, so it's just water on the floor right there. And as you walk around, I mean, it's got some great, cool styling pieces like this right here. It looks like the car's actually moving. Just enough spoiler to keep the ass end down on the ground. And great looking paint. I love the color of this car because it matches the wheels, and the red calipers just pop right in your face. All right, so enough of the outside, because the outside itself is really beautiful, but you don't really spend a whole lot of time outside. What you spend is working the gas pedal and the interior. So let's find out what the gas pedal does. All right, let's check this out. Look how beautiful this is. This is a coating on the valve covers in red, and here in this taupe color, and it just makes the red pop even more. And it's just beautifully done in here. All aluminum block. Talking about almost 400 horsepower of this car. And even little stuff like the insulator and liner, and the way they dress up the engine compartment around here with the covers on it to kind of fill things in so it doesn't look like there's big ugly gaps. They hide the hoses in the vacuums and things like that. It just looks really nice the way that they do that. Anyway, so some of the stuff in here, you're talking about dry sump oiling system. If a lot of you don't know what that is, what that means is the oil pan that would typically be on an American car or some of the earlier cars would have a place for all the oil. So the engine had to sit up a little higher so there was a place for the oil pan to be. In this case here, they get rid of the oil pan so that they can drop the engine lower down in the car, and they move the oil pan to the side in its own tank, which is really the smart way to do it. A lot of cars are going that way. And that way you have plenty of oil over here. You don't have to worry about scraping the oil pan or putting a big dent in it. And you always have plenty of oil. The oil's not being scavenged or a chance of the engine running dry. All right, braided hoses here, which is really nice. Just the detail stuff is what I'm trying to show you. Little things like this. So, you know, one of the things that we worry about sometimes is accidents. And I'm looking around the car and I see the original tags and things that you can't buy extra. Those are still in place here. So this car is at an accident, and these things needed to be replaced. These here, they wouldn't, you couldn't buy them. I still see the original color right here. Rosso Mondial. And I thought it was Grigio Touring. I just learned my lesson. Okay, Rosso Mondial. Hopefully I didn't butcher that nearly as much as the first one. All right, let's check out the inside. Okay, let's move inside because, you know, in these cars here, The Gransport interior is very different than the regular Spiders and even the regular Coupe. So you get the special sport seats. You can see clearly from the bolsters on the sides and in here what it was designed to do. It's designed to really hold you in here. Steering wheel, and it's squared off a little bit too, which is nice. So no matter what, and one of the things that I think that it helps most people do is, depending on where the car is, it has this ring here to let you know this is the top of the wheel. So if you're, if you start to slide or something like, let's say you took this car to the track and you got a little twisted up or whatever, you always know where the top of the wheel is, and it's squared off to give you some extra room in here. Because I'm 6'1", and look how much room I have. All right, so styling stuff, like check out this, it's all carbon. This is really nice too. And the one thing about these cars that's great is that even though they're a manual transmission with a clutch in the back, the clutch is controlled by the computer as well as the shifting of the gears, which you decide right here, okay? But the one thing you can do, if you have to jump on the phone or some reason you just don't feel like shifting, you just push this auto button and it takes over the shifting for you, and it's fully automatic, and you kind of get the best of both worlds. And you'll see that a lot of the sports cars, from Porsche's PDK to Ferrari's F1 transmission and things like that, are all headed that way, because here you can't miss a shift. The car won't let you over rev because you can't downshift it too much. It's saving engines, it's saving clutches, it's saving a lot of different things, and it certainly makes you much faster. Then you have this button here called the Sport Mode. The Sport Mode, I love that button. What it does is it makes you sound like a full-on race driver. As you downshift the car, it'll automatically blip the throttle before it downshifts to the next gear, and that just sounds wicked, especially with the upgraded pipes that you get on the Gransport model. All right, so then they do the red piping in here with that cool fabric and the leather here. The dash is covered in leather, the pillars are covered in leather. You've got this cool fabric up here again, which kind of mimics this right here. 200-mile-an-hour speedometer, 8,000 RPM tach, killer sound system in the car. It's just really, really nice. And I say that just because, you want me to tell you why I really say that? Because it's really, really nice. It just is. Plus there's rear seating back here. Like, check this out, man. You could actually take kids back here if you wanted to. There's a real seat. And that's what makes this car so great, because it sounds wicked. If you had to carry some people in it, you could. And it just looks spectacular inside. I love this old school kind of clock. It just looks great. One of the things that makes this car so different, we talked about the pattern of the interior and things like that, but like the Gransport call out right here, even the gauges have separate gauges for the Gransport models and say Gransport on them. And just a steering wheel, I don't know, man, this is just a bad, bad car. Bad. This is not good for you. I don't suggest you buy this car because this is a bad, bad boy. And I think, quite honestly, you could get in trouble in this car. That could happen to you. Not my fault, but it could happen to you. Don't try to turn the Gransport models with the key, because if you try to turn the Gransport models with the key, the only one, they won't start. And you know why they won't start? Because they have a start button. All right, let's fire it up so we can get a little sound of that Italian, beautiful sound. Wow, that is so nice. All right, so we have gone over this car now, and we have talked about so much stuff. Real quick, recap. Less than probably 100 built. Don't know how many were built in silver. Low mileage here. Loaded to the gills with, the great wheels and the huge brakes and the 400 horsepower, the 6-speed F1 transmission, the killer interior with the killer sound system, the power windows, the start button, the sport button. It's one of those cars, man, you just can't get bored with because there's so much going on. It takes you a little while to learn all of it, and that's the great part about them. On top of it, not to mention, it is spectacular Italian beauty, all right? Great sound going down the road, and I gotta tell you, man, if you can find a way to get a $100,000 car in your life for so much less, like this car is priced at, it is an awesome, awesome deal. You'll be very, very happy. Anyway, call us 301-816-1000. We'll tell you all about it.